Why does it do that? Why does it like to revert back to going mute? WTF? Someone's messing with me. I don't need it. I mess with myself enough. With the braces, with the technology, with the puppy dogs, with the chakra tower. Chakra tower. Let me get myself all situated. I kind of went ahead and turned on my video to get started, not being completely situated because Granny Annie, hello, my dear. It was so much fun to see you yesterday, and I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. I want to find out what you've been watching to get all your info on the Charlie Kirk crazy, because I was just watching Mr. Let Go. Are you familiar with Mr. Let Go? I just had on, I wanted to hear about the video. Oh, I know, I want to do that too. So let me just see about getting see, yesterday I didn't have this one on. Getting situated, and then yeah, this video is wild and crazy. Dang it. Let's see. Move it back, move it forward. I don't know. Is that good? Because I want to kind of be in the middle, but anyway, how are you doing today, Granny Annie? And yeah, let's get right into this crazy video. Once I knew it was a stage psyop, I haven't wasted my time. Sent same video to a few other creators. So, Granny Annie, I am just so grateful for your contributions to the conversation last night and right now too. Let me say real quick my disclaimer that everything I say is simply my opinion for the sake of hoping to open up a discussion, start a conversation, learn something, be educational. All of my videos are made for YouTube. It's an infotainment platform. I'm going to try to move this stand just a smidge closer without screwing everything up. It is so nuts. I need a crew. That's what I need. I need a whole casting crew. Okay, so I did my disclaimer. We're going to talk about the video of the cray cray, the onion video. It's hilarious. It's so funny. I'm excited to share that. And what I was trying to say when I threw in my disclaimer and threw my brain off track was that the second I heard that Charlie Kirk was shot, I was like, this is a stage piece of crap, bull crap, distraction, Jackson. And then when I heard that he passed away, I'm like, oh, well, I feel bad saying anything au contraire. But yeah. Let's see what you're saying here. Government wants us thinking about this crap, not shots and horny politicians. Exactly. It's not just Epstein's not the only one doing this crap. So let's get right into this onion article. Let me just drink a little agua. So I took Coco to her. She's down here. Coco, get on the bed. She's having a rough day. I took her to the vet today for her full checkup. It's all good and clear. So hit your like button if you don't mind. And I'm probably still in the way for, yeah, whatever. See, you can't even see the cool thing. If I move this over this way, just so you can see that cool red globe, but watch me knock it all over. So the globe is on that side. It's so hard because it's like the opposite. It's not a mirror. It's the opposite. Anna Bees, hello, my dear. I sent your package yesterday, I think. Yeah, it wasn't today. Today I woke up and got the dog to Columbus for the oncology checkup. But I got your package sent off yesterday, and I did send you a half a dozen of the tiny little chicken coops. It was literally 50 cents more to send you the half dozen than it was. And it wasn't a bad deal. It was $8. So I was happy with that. It was like over 12, close to 13 for that tiny package. So the tiny package was $7.50, but I was like, no, I'll spring the 50 cents and then send her a whole lot of loot. Yay. Oh, it'll be fun when you get it. So let's get into this thing because that's what we're here for. And so did you guys hear that Erica Kirk is going to be teaming up with Bad Bunny for the halftime show in February? I mean, not teaming up to do it together, to compete and do it apart. Charlie Kirk is doing the halftime show. Post mortem. Sorry. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Okay, let's get into this thing here. This is so hilarious. So I'm going to play it on my phone because you know how mortem. Sorry. How horrible I am with my technology. And here I am in a loop. Thanks for being in the loop with me. I should send you for medicine for eating leftover cancer cells. Cancer is a parasite. Well, I think that she's cancer free. She had it surgically removed twice last year. And then in February, at the beginning of the year, January, after she recovered fully from the second surgery, her last radiation treatment was Valentine's Day. So she did like 20 treatments in 30 days. And it was pretty brutal. But she's had no cancer come back since the second removal. So I think we're out of the woods. But yeah, you're welcome to send it to me, but I probably wouldn't use it. So I wouldn't bother with that. My friend's PSA was 15 1 month of that and 3.3. I have no idea what any of that means. Oh, is Vieja here? There you are. I'm sorry I missed that, Vieja. I'm glad that I saw. Okay. We're going on with the Onion article, or not article, it's a video. I don't know how this is going to go, but this is funny AF.
For months, we have all been asking for a sustained.
Okay. Done with that. Here we go. Da-da-da-da. It's so cute. It's so well done. So I'll be interrupting it.
Jeffrey Epstein calling from jail again. Sorry I missed you. You're probably busy being the president. Look, I just wanted to remind you that we're best friends, and tomorrow I'm gonna tell the whole world that you're a pedophile just like me. Unless, of course, something bad happens to me tonight. But I'll probably be fine.
Unless, of course, something bad happens to me tonight, but I'll probably be fine. So anybody who's not familiar, The Onion is just satire. So let's keep going because this is so good.
Breaking news tonight regarding Jeffrey Epstein.
The embattled financier, once alive, now dead. The story.
Okay, that's one of my favorite lines. Once alive, now dead.
Jeffrey Epstein is so unbelievable, it's almost hard to believe.
I don't understand it.
Who was Jeffrey Epstein?
How could he get away with this? What did he even do? Know what I'm saying?
Is he really dead?
Was he ever even alive to begin with? What did he do? Where did he live?
Was Jeffrey his first name or was Epstein his last name?
How deep does this go? Who is Jeffrey Epstein?
Who is Jeffrey Epstein?
Who is Jeffrey Epstein?
I don't know.
Jeffrey Epstein is in custody tonight.
I never had the privilege of going to his island.
Some are now saying Epstein might be a pedophile.
Could this be the end of Jeffrey Epstein? This will be Jeffrey's last season with the Chicago Bulls.
How deep does this go?
You are receiving a call from
Jeffrey Epstein's assassin. Epstein is in the white Bronco and driving to Pedophile Island.
Who's in these files?
Driving to Pedophile Island. I never know what is true anymore. It all seems like the Onion reports. I know, it's so true. It's really true. We got to be careful. My manager has stomach cancer stage 2, ivermectin. Is that how you say it? Ivermectin. Now stage 1, prostate is PSA. Okay, that's amazing. That's amazing.
People still have a lot of unanswered questions about Jeffrey Epstein. Like how, for so long, was a rich, powerful white man able to get away with something like this? But to truly understand...
How is a rich, powerful white man able to get away with something like this? Isn't the Onion published from Madison, Wisconsin? I don't know, but haven't heard about it in a few years. I think you're right.
Jeffrey Epstein? We have to go back to the beginning. Jeffrey Epstein was allegedly born to his alleged father and alleged mother in New York in 1953. Allegedly. His family raised him to be a decent, upstanding pedophile, and for the most part,
His family raised him to be a decent, upstanding pedophile. OMG. Oh, and I should have said before I started, trigger warning for anybody that's a survivor, this could be triggering. So let me just say that for sure. I'm sorry I didn't say that earlier. And I'm not going to play the entire thing. It's like, I think 20 or 30 minutes, but at least probably the first half.
he had a pretty normal childhood.
He was bright, had lots of friends. He excelled in school where he was surrounded by other underage kids.
He was surrounded by other underage kids. Again, one of my favorite lines. A lot of satire in media of late. Love it. Yeah, again, as long as you know it's satire, right? But that's such a great line. Growing up, he was surrounded by a lot of other underage kids.
Really was just your typical American molester.
Everyone always assumed he would go on to grow up somewhere like Harvard or Yale, but in college, things take a turn for the worse.
Oftentimes, when pedophiles advance beyond the age of adolescence, they struggle to adapt to the world around them and all of its societal norms. Jeffrey was no exception.
So Epstein never actually graduates college, and instead takes a job at the deep state, working in the mailroom, serving the shadowy cabal that secretly controls the U.S. government.
I mean, this guy was doing things we would have never even dreamed of. Coordinating elaborate orgies, blackmailing heads of state, trafficking girls from all over the world. He was like a savant.
And while working at the deep state, Epstein catches the attention of some extremely powerful men.
He was like a savant. That's kind of hard to make out that word if you didn't catch it. I don't remember which politician fell for an Onion story and posted about it. It could have been Little T, LOL. I'm thinking it might have been Marjorie Taylor Greene, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah.
Who begin to let him into their inner circle.
Billionaires like Les Wexner, who was the CEO of Victoria's Secret, and Bill Gates, the CEO of Microsoft Secret.
Through all of
Another brilliant line. Bill Gates, the CEO of Microsoft Secret. Too funny.
this, Epstein somehow manages to surround himself with some of the wealthiest, most powerful people in the world. And this really marks the moment when Jeffrey Epstein, the pedophile, becomes Jeffrey Epstein, the criminal.
Are you looking to establish your business using an address other than your home? Well, at iPhone
2003.
Before I began investigating Jeffrey Epstein at the Miami Herald, I was a beat writer for the Pedophile Island Tribune. At the time, Epstein was sort of known for throwing these lavish, expensive molesting parties. But when I
molesting parties, too effing funny. Bill Gates says exactly what he wants: to depopulate the world. Yikes. Yikes.
started looking into it, I quickly discovered that I was the only person on the island who wasn't a sex slave. That's when I knew.
That's a good one. I was the only person on the island who wasn't a sex slave. Interesting too, because a lot of times these folks would rug and assault the journalists. But why, Annie? Will depopulate the world because they're greedy, because they're twisted. Just get a life, man. It's horrible when you have so much money that you're just sitting around thinking of such stupid crap.
Something was off.
Epstein was frequently flying clients out to his island. People like Prince Andrew, allegedly Kevin Spacey, allegedly Chris Tucker, Stephen Hawking, Bill Clinton, allegedly. But the only real proof we had was a big guest book on Epstein's jet everyone signed, rating the experience out of 5 and giving constructive feedback on the orgies. But that only proves so much.
For example, we didn't know who rode on Epstein's transcontinental pedophile railroad into his lodge in Sex Canyon, or aboard his pedophile cruise ship, the High Majesty, or on his impractical handjob handcar, or his private space shuttle, the Molester Galactic. But behind all the zero-gravity, underage massages, there was something even more sinister going on within Epstein's inner circle.
Oh, it was a total boys' club. Just a complete sausage party. I knew Jeff back then, and he knew I loved molesting kids and that I wanted a seat on the Lolita Express more than anything. But he shut me out just because I was a woman. It was sexism, pure and simple. Disgusting.
By this point in the investigation, we had ascertained that Mr. Epstein's criminal organization worked much like a pyramid scheme. Epstein, of course, was at the top, luring in wealthy clients. And his right hand was Epstein's beloved cockatiel, Porky, who he never left home without. All the way down to Mr. Tyler Fitzsimmons, Epstein's personal loose dealer.
Epstein had built a well-oiled criminal machine, but it was starting to become too much for just one pedophile to handle all on his own.
And of course, behind every great male sex trafficker, there's an even greater female sex trafficker.
Enter Ghislaine Maxwell.
Jizz.
Ghislaine Maxwell first met Jeffrey Epstein after she responded to a classified ad seeking a gross pervert assistant.
Seeking a gross pervert assistant. Laugh with me on that. That is hilarious. Seeking a gross pervert assistant. Grannie says, Anna, he says we're ruining the earth. Tesla guy says we need more. Yeah, right. The big E says we need more white babies. And then Gates, I don't know. I haven't heard about his depopulating dreams. But yeah, I mean, they talk about thinning the herds. I mean, honestly, I've even heard Kamala say it. It like slipped. Gates sent sterilization meds to Africa. What was that? Whites to live. I know that they are doing this. I guess I wonder why they know something we don't know. They definitely got a down pat. Yeah, it's just it's like stupidity and insanity and power and control, in my opinion.
Immediately, she was hired. What Epstein allegedly liked about Ghislaine were her connections. Her father was British billionaire Robert Maxwell, which in turn made Ghislaine rich and British too.
Oh, technically, Ghislaine Maxwell was a socialite, but she only came to New York in 1991, unlike my family, which arrived on Mayflower.
It wasn't long after she was hired by Epstein that Ghislaine Maxwell decided to enlist in the elite pedophile corps.
At that point, a woman had never completed Epstein's training before. It was grueling. You had to be able to run 5 miles through the mud with a 90-pound girl on your back.
That is really sick. run 5 miles through the mud with a 90-pound girl on your back. Gates says it outright. We need a few billion less people. That's ridiculous. There's plenty of resources for everybody, in my humble opinion.
Wanted to break you. Nevertheless, she persisted. Not only did she complete the program, but she graduated at the top of her class. Ghislaine Maxwell was now officially a pedophile. She sure showed those boys.
Hi everyone, Mark Barton here.
Yeah.
Sandy Hook Promise.
Sandy Hook Promise.
On December 14th, 2012.
So sad seeing those parents.
Ghislaine Maxwell, the alleged accomplice of sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein, is behind bars.
Typical new money behavior. I wouldn't be caught dead at one of her ghost child sex parties.
Everyone assumes this is the end for Ghislaine Maxwell. Until
2025. Oh, wait. Here, let me read. It's silent stuff. It's just print on the screen. So, July 24th, 2025. It's the meeting with Blanche, but here we go. Dang it. It's so weird how it's not letting me. Okay. July 24th, 2025. Justice Department officials interviewed Ghislaine Maxwell. Interview of Ghislaine Maxwell. Present, Todd Blanche, U.S. Deputy Attorney General.
Ghislaine Maxwell?
Ghislaine.
Ghislaine. I could have swore it was Elaine. And how long have you been in prison?
5 years.
5 years? Wow. Do you have TikTok in prison?
No.
Oh, you gotta see this.
That's like me with that little video of The Office. The It Can Only Good Happen versus The Office. I'll play it for you guys again. I think I played it for you a week or two ago. That just keeps cracking me up. We need you to help cover up some of Donald Trump's crimes.
the question now is, why was Ghislaine Maxwell allegedly sent to prison in the first place? Did it have anything to do with who she knew? And is it possible that the Donald Trump mentioned on the DOJ tape
Donald Trump
is the same Donald Trump that knew Jeffrey Epstein?
A lot has been made about the relationship between Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump. But off the court, they were not friends.
Trump and Epstein friends?
It goes into this whole basketball
Their
thing.
relationship was strictly basketball.
In the 90s, Jeffrey Epstein was basketball. I mean, he was more than basketball. He was a phenomenon.
Oh, yeah. I had a pair of Epsteins.
Everyone did. He was changing the game, on and off the court.
Now, some people say he never would have won all those championships without Dershowitz. Like, they don't know what they're talking about.
Dershowitz. Oh, he's the bane of my existence. He's so gross.
He was unguardable.
But if there was one person who could maybe contain him, it was Donald Trump.
Donnie didn't necessarily have the offensive skill sets that Jeffrey had. But if you came into the paint on Trump, you felt it.
It's the summer of 92. Epstein and Trump both made the U.S. Olympic team. And these practices are intense.
Some of the best basketball ever played. Period.
Now, Trump's team is beating up on Epstein's pretty good. And Trump yells out,
I guess this Epstein kid
ain't so great after all.
Epstein goes off.
He's going behind the back. He's hitting threes. He's driving the lane. No one can stop him.
Epstein doesn't lose a game the rest of the day.
And after that, Magic Johnson turns to Larry Bird and he says, "This is Jeffrey's league now."
And we're sure this is shocking for many of you that are just hearing the news and tuning in. But the response is being complicated by the mysterious domino effect of power failures along the East Coast as well as around the Los Angeles.
Hey!
Oh, sorry. I was like, I don't remember that part.
Eastern Conference semifinals. Epstein is in town to play Trump and the Knicks. Now, Epstein doesn't have a great game one, and he was a nail biter in overtime. Then, the night before game two, Trump and Epstein are at the same party, and Trump comes over to Jeffrey and says, "Looks like we got you figured out."
Looks like we got you figured out.
Man, you shouldn't have said that.
Trump retires in 95, and the two never really speak after that. But a few years later, in 98, Epstein's last game in the Garden, he scores 48 points. And who's in the crowd watching? Donald Trump.
Former NBA superstar, financier, and pedophile Jeffrey Epstein is in custody tonight.
In 2006, Jeffrey Epstein is arrested.
We had troves of evidence, videos, photographs, interviews, but there's one corroborating detail in all the victims' testimonies that was the most damning.
This is really gross, so cover your ears. It's relating to, he has an egg-shaped package.
Epstein's distinct corkscrew penis.
It was a corkscrew penis that got him.
Corkscrew penises first evolved in ducks, who are rightfully considered the best molesters in all the animal kingdom. Jeffrey was no exception. The first day in court, Epstein gets onto the witness stand and immediately tries to hang himself.
That's one of the best lines in the whole thing. Gets onto the witness stand and immediately tries to hang himself.
And yet, despite being charged with multiple counts of unlawful sexual encounters with a minor, Jeffrey Epstein gets a sweetheart deal, pleading down to the far lesser charge of penis goofing.
The far lesser charge of penis goofing. Oh man, if I was like drinking something, I'd be spitting it out my nose. That's too funny. Penis goofing. Again, like I said, for a survivor, this could be very, very triggering. So, but for some survivors, it could also probably be healing. I mean, laughter is the best therapy.
And is sentenced to just 1 year in juvenile detention. He's granted his own private underage sex room and can still leave to go to work as a doctor for the U.S. women's gymnastics team. It was a complete molestation.
Okay. Bye, VA House. Sorry to miss that. But this right here, he was still able to be a doctor for the women's gymnastics team. Let me just take that back a few seconds. Thanks for coming in, VA House. Always lovely to see you. Let's see.
Court, Epstein gets onto the witness stand and immediately tries to hang himself.
And yet, despite being charged with multiple counts of unlawful sexual encounters with a minor, Jeffrey Epstein gets a sweetheart deal, pleading down to the far lesser charge of penis goofing, and is sentenced to just 1 year in juvenile detention. He's granted his own private underage sex room and can still leave to go to work as a doctor for the U.S. women's gymnastics team. It was a complete molestation of justice.
Him and Larry Nassar.
For the next 10 years, Epstein maintains a low profile and mostly molests philanthropically. But in 2019, he's arrested again.
New semen spatter evidence has landed Jeffrey Epstein back behind bars.
For years, we knew who put the semen on Jeffrey Epstein's walls, but we didn't know how. And semen spatter analysis was the missing piece.
We ejaculated on the walls. We We ejaculated on the ceiling, and when the ejaculate finally settled, it always pointed to one man.
The judge immediately ordered Epstein to go back to jail and not kill himself.
But then
Another really good line. The judge immediately ordered Jeffrey to go back to jail and not kill himself.
unthinkable happens.
Oggi nasce il fascismo. Una creatura.
The official story is that while in prison, Epstein died peacefully in his noose.
Yeah, but that just never sat right with me.
No, I don't believe it.
You're telling me a pedophile in the prime of his life with decades of molesting still in front of him just suddenly decided to up and kill himself? I mean,
I remember the night Jeff died like it was several years ago. That day, the guards came to my cell and told me I had to leave, but not to worry because Jeff would be busy killing himself, which I always thought was really strange because it's against prison rules, and Jeff loved following the rules.
In all my years of being
That's a good line. And Jeff loved following the rules.
a federal prosecutor, I've never seen a more botched government-sanctioned assassination.
Nothing
Wait.
about the autopsy added up.
Another really good line, if I can say it. I've never seen a more botched government-sanctioned assassination. That's solid gold right there.
there were clear signs of a struggle on his neck, wrists, and penis, and the presidential seal had been branded on his chest.
If you keep pushing me.
The presidential seal had been branded on his chest. OMG. Yeah, they're not making any inference here, are they? Not at all. Let's see. That it took me to a different video. Why? Let me see. If I just go straight into my history, it should pick up right where we left off. So I don't have to find it. The part about the government or the presidential seal on his chest. Why is it giving me a hard time? I mean, it's good. Here we go. Because it's good to keep breaking it up.
Prison rules, and Jeff loved following the rules.
There we go.
In all my years of being a federal prosecutor, I've never seen a more botched government-sanctioned assassination.
Nothing about the autopsy added up.
There were clear signs of a struggle on his neck, wrists, and penis, and the presidential seal had been branded on his chest. Plus, several times during the autopsy, Jeffrey sat up, said he didn't kill himself, and
Several times during the autopsy, Jeffrey sat up and said he didn't kill himself. It's almost like they're inferring that he's, that his whole thing was faked.
asked if there was anyone around underage who could give him a massage.
If Jeffrey Epstein...
But one of the times he sat up, he asked if there was anyone around underage that could give him a massage. OMG.
His corpse admitted that he didn't kill himself, then the question remains, who did?
At 6:30 a.m., guards at the Metropolitan Correctional Center find Jeffrey Epstein dead.
But just 2 minutes earlier, the elite squad of men in charge of killing inmates, known as
The elite squad of men in charge of killing inmates.
Murder Patrol,
Murder Patrol.
are unaccounted for.
Then there's the fact that Jeffrey Epstein didn't die that night and actually died over 20 years ago in a fiery car accident. And finally, there's the missing minutes. When authorities go to review the video footage from Epstein's cell, they find that over 34,689,652 minutes of his life are missing.
There's no footage of his birth,
That's pretty funny.
no trace of his childhood in Brooklyn.
All they captured was Epstein being graphically murdered for 1 minute and 3 seconds. Even to this day, the Trump administration refuses to release the Epstein files. But could it be because Donald Trump himself was implicated?
We know that in 2019, Trump signed an executive order to murder Jeffrey Epstein. Then he signs a second executive order to make the murder look like a suicide.
Could Trump orchestrating Jeffrey Epstein's murder have something to do with Jeffrey Epstein's death? We may never know.
If you're a side sleeper and you keep waking up with pain here on the mid back,
Stop
along
with
neck,
the
shoulders,
ads.
There's still so much we don't know about the night Epstein died, and some things we may never know. But there is one thing we know for certain.
The night Jeffrey Epstein died, his soul departed from his mortal flesh and ascended into heaven, where he met God the Father Almighty and his Son, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
When Epstein went to heaven and stared directly into the face of God, it was the most beautiful thing he'd ever seen.
And a lot of people thought maybe things will be different now. Maybe he's changed.
After Epstein dies, he doesn't even do 1 week in purgatory. Then, poof, he's in heaven talking to God.
Does that sound normal to you?
The story of Jeffrey Epstein is so outlandish that it's easy to see why it lends itself so well to conspiracy theories. But ideas like he was able to get away with these horrific things for so long because he was rich and powerful, and his friends were rich and powerful, and that's how this country treats the rich and powerful, simply have no basis in reality.
Yeah. No basis in reality.
That's not true. No truth to that. No.
And outlandish conspiracies like that really only exist to distract from the truth, which is the fact that Jeffrey Epstein was a pretty cool guy.
Oh yeah, he was incredible. Had bedroom eyes. The ladies know what I'm talking about.
He had money, he had mansions, he got laid.
Big house.
He had a plane. Probably 2 planes.
Oh yeah, I was on his plane. It was sweet.
He had his own freaking sex island. He was awesome.
He had his own sex island.
I would have gone in a heartbeat.
Say what you want about him, but this guy had spunk. He had charisma.
And I think that
If Jeffrey Epstein were alive today, I think he'd be pretty happy with how it all turned out.
Basically making reference to how famous he has been. In 2007, in 2025. See, I got 2007 on the brain because that was the year that Erica France mysteriously won Miss Arizona Teen, and nobody will talk about it. And you can't find anything on it, hardly at all. But yeah, we'll get to that in a second. In 2025, the Trump administration cleared the Trump administration of any and all wrongdoing by the Trump administration pertaining to the life and death of Jeffrey Epstein. They only made one mistake. It says Harvard on his sweatshirt. Bad pedophile. Okay, sorry. OMG. Set that down and get caught up with all your comments. I know you guys were having a nice little heart to heart here. Let's see. Let's go back a little bit to before Vieja left. I'm glad I got to say goodbye. I hope she was still here when I said goodbye. About right here. they are so sick. I have had access to big bucks before. I never aspired to be in control or present myself as an elite. Yeah, I mean, money changes people. It really does. Um, I've known a very small handful of people with big bucks who could just be cool. Very small percentage. It's almost like it's just human nature to have it make you twisted. In my humble conspiracy theory opinion, allegedly. Anna, yes, Gates had a nice wife. She aged out. I did for my 77-year-old at age 65. He needs another 50s aged girl, 50s ages girl like I was. It's annoying and ridiculous. Yeah, Melinda Gates was his secretary. That was how they met. Annie, I'm sorry that happened to you. I hope you came out in good shape afterwards. They are all so gross. Annie, I broke it off after I heard him tell his friend, beach sounds good. I will check with my caregiver. Proud old men go to Mexico for broke female willing, so cook, clean, and suck. Oh, gross. Hope you're all doing well and gotta go. Have a good night. Vieja says. Annie says goodbye. Vieja, adios. I bet I could top his gross. Corkscrews are pigs too. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't look into that one. It was just cracking me up because I knew the thing about the egg shape. Like that was part of the testimony of several survivors that was confirmation in the eyes of the law that they knew that from firsthand experience that they were telling the truth. And another goodbye to Vieja from Anna B's. Vegas storm enhancement. We got drizzle. X has constant rain and lightning in Vegas. Well, good riddance, Annie. No changing diapers for you. Yay, LOL. Oh, gross. Ugh. That is so funny. Yeah, that's really nasty. I never changed an adult diaper, I have to confess, because my mom was wearing adult diapers for the last few years of her life, and she was in a nursing home, and I just could not have been more grateful to the people that did that. Like, they are angels, seriously. It's hard enough for me doing it with little babies that are so cute, or picking up the dog mess of the little fur babies that are also so cute. Like I just have quite the aversion to that crapola, that literal crapola. Let's see. One man lost his 85-year-old wife. He's 73, passed in April, engaged to pretty 40 plus Mex gal already. Oh, so his wife was a lot older than him, and well, and maybe he just to see it like in a Pollyanna kind of way. Maybe he just wanted to try to have an insurance that he wouldn't lose a wife a second time in his lifetime, because that is really stressful. Losing, as Anna Bees knows, that's the most stressful thing an adult can go through, is losing their significant other, passing away. On the stress scale, that is top of the list. And then I think it's worse if it's self-injury. Even worse is red rum. Absolutely the worst. And a friend and I used to chat about age difference. I am disabled and in bed 75% of the time. His wife was black, not accepted well here. Sad. Oh, not accepted well in the community, in the area that you live, Granny Annie. Yeah, there are a lot of areas that frown upon interracial couples. It used to be a lot of the nation was like that, not so much anymore. I think it's still a challenge. I would think that, relationships are stressful enough, and then you're going to have a cultural difference, and you're going to have that um, prejudice to deal with sometimes. But like, don't you just love the couple on the Jeffersons? Remember the upstairs neighbors? Who could forget? They were like the best interracial couple in the world. They taught us all so much. Um, Laugh my arse off. This tape is hilarious. I know, it's so funny. I just was cracking up. And like I said, also thinking about it from the perspective of, like, I know that there were victims of R. Kelly's that were horrified and traumatized when the comedian Dave Chappelle talked about he had his joke where he was just like, piss, and that just crushed them. So that's very sad because, yeah, I mean, he was cashing in on that at their expense directly. And I mean, they felt like it was very disrespectful and demeaning, and just, they'd been through so much already. It was like a kick in the teeth. Some men can't live alone. They are children. Yeah, I call them man babies. I lost my husband and don't plan to ever be in a relationship, but I sometimes wonder if I had passed, would he do the same? Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, relationships are so tricky. You just never know. I mean, neither of my parents ever remarried. They were not married to each other for very long. Maybe like 5 years. I mean, things were shaky from jump. Probably within 4 or 5 years, shit went south. And, they were both young, and they were both like beatniks in DC, and they both probably had affairs, and it was just not pretty. And neither one of them ever remarried. They were married long enough to have my sister and then me. And then when the divorce was final, I mean, my mom had some very significant relationships, and I don't really think my father did. He tried. He had a couple of really nice girlfriends when we lived with him before he tried to do what he tried to do. I mean, he was good looking, and he was a big flirt. He was a ladies' man, and he was intelligent, and blah blah blah. But yeah, he couldn't hold on to the chicks so well. Probably turned them all into lesbians. Anyway, Anna, my guy likes me down for 8 months. Topomax had me pain-free. That is when Granny Annie was born. Oh, how cute. Blistered feet first week from walking. Accused me of cheating. Whoa, Granny Annie, that's some crazy. Because, yeah, what was your handle before it was Granny Annie? I forget. I almost remember. Did I pin it? I think I pinned it. I'm glad Granny Annie was born. Oh, for sure. There were tons of recordings of what went on. Anna, it gave me goals to get out. Get out. Remember that from Amityville Horror? Get out. Even in pain, more. Stopped Topamax. Couldn't feel hunger, feet, vision, but more active now. 75%. Still down, but not cooking for uptime. Well, it's nice that you have the internet and YouTube, huh? I mean, I wish that I had that when I was nursing children for so many years, nursing babies. But it was good because I was reading books, and I don't do that enough anymore. Oh, I really want to read Virginia Gouffre's new book that comes out, I think, in 10 days. I think it's the 20th of this month, unless the world blows up or something to prevent that from happening, which would be not a surprise. Tomboys don't like to wear gowns every weekend. Granny Annie says, okay, I'm glad you had the same reaction, pretending I wasn't his girlfriend, explained why we never went out when we were in the US. That is crazy. Screw him. I mean, don't screw him, right? Epstein sounds like he was an anomaly with corkscrew. Well, the whole egg-shaped thing, food, Stormy Daniels said that the Donald is shaped like a mushroom, a very small mushroom at that, which makes sense why his buildings have to be the tallest and the biggest and the best. Oh, I thought of some crazy conspiracy theory with the Chandra Levy Gary Condit case. Should I just put it in right here before I forget, if I read through the rest of the comments and I forget what my crazy theory is? So I've talked about this before on my channel, but just a quick refresher for anybody who doesn't know. Gary Condit and Chandra Levy, she was the intern and he was the congressman, going back to the year 2001, when she disappeared in May. And then it became apparent that they were having an affair that he denied. And things were really heating up when 9/11 happened. And then when 9/11 happened, it pretty much fell off the radar of news updates. And then the guy that they got to take the fall, I always figured he was hired to take the fall. But Kirby Summers did a video a couple of days ago about this, and I linked it up in the description of one of my last two videos. I forget which one. I can link it up again in this one. Anyway, it never occurred to me that the government could have had, some people have the conspiracy theories about the government having weird things to do with the whole terrorist attack, right? What if the government was so willing to cover for Gary Condit because he wasn't the only one diddling the freaking interns? They were probably all doing it. Probably every single congressman and woman that have ever been in Congress have probably diddled their freaking interns. Like, maybe not 100%, but probably over 80%. What do you want to bet? Sorry, I had a piece of wax fall out of my braces. I've been putting the wax in lately to give my mouth a break from all that metal. It helps so much. So yeah, like, what if that wasn't just a coincidence, the Twin Towers coming down and Gary Condit skating out of that mess? He also had a brother who was a felon. And I guess the thing that Kirby Summers talks about in her video, if she's accurate, I don't know. I haven't had a chance to research it. But she said that Chandra Levy was the tip of the iceberg, that he was a complete perv and into some weird crap. And kids. So maybe, let me just jump down that rabbit hole that is kind of so obvious at the same time. Maybe the whole kid thing is part of it. It's not just interns. Maybe, like Matt Gaetz. So maybe that's why in this crazy conspiracy theory, if they were willing to go to such an extreme to protect Gary Condit because they didn't want the whole thing to unravel, that it wasn't just Chandra Levy. She was of age. She was in her early 20s. But he had assaulted girls allegedly as young as 15, maybe younger. It's in, if what Kirby Summers says is true and accurate. And I don't know. I was talking about that the other day, how I thought that she was very reliable, and she is a survivor of being a Rex slave for a billionaire, and she never really says which one, but it might not be too hard to figure out if you read her books. I don't know. She seems legit, but you just never know if people are or not. She says Whitney Webb is a pile of horse crap and a plant. So if any of you guys know who Whitney Webb is, and she seems like such a goofball, I can't stand her. But again, I found out about Sean Atwood's channel. I just don't know about Sean Atwood. Kirby Summers seems completely legit. Sean Atwood, at first I thought maybe he was fishy, and then he kind of won me over. And then, I've been certainly, I don't just take everything he says. I take everything on his channel with a grain of salt, especially because he highlighted that Anya Wick, who was obviously making crap up, in my opinion. And then that guy, Ryan Dawson, who I thought was so brilliant, but then I'm like, I don't know about Ryan Dawson. I mean, it's just, you just don't know. Like, people are weird, and, maybe they're just weird on their own, or maybe they're trying to do a psyop, or, I mean, sometimes people are just goofballs. But Rosie's Insights has her opinion that Sean Atwood is like operative of the Daddy Vladdy type. And I was like, dang, I really trust Rosie's Insights. I really do. And, I mean, I take what she says with a grain of salt, too. She is just sharing her ideas and her feelings and her impressions along with the news facts. And I think we all should take ourselves with a grain of salt sometimes, even, right? Because we might think we're right and we're not. We've been had or whatever. It's insane, isn't it? Here, let me stay caught up. Where did I leave off? I think I left off with tomboys don't like to wear gowns. I'm glad you had the same reaction. Yeah, pretending I wasn't his girlfriend, explaining why we never went out. Epstein sounds like he was an anomaly with a corkscrew. That might be where I left off. I look at my 94-year-old neighbor on my cruise. I helped with her night underwear and showered with her, very arthritic, past 7/8/25, with Canada Club on her guns. I put her as I promised. Mexico with a black wife. Odd. Granny Annie says, and Alex hubby is French, adored wife, made her a baguette every morning, rapid cancer. Oh, a fresh baguette. That would be a keeper right there. That's adorable. Canadian Club whiskey on Friends, gums, not guns. Okay, thank you. I had no idea what you were talking about. I'm like, all right, it's a gun thing. All right. Canadian Club whiskey on Friends, gums. That's cute. Aw. We are lucky dad didn't have more kids. He is bad. Which dad? I mean, my dad for sure. I mean, I always felt like we were so lucky that our crazy parents had us, because neither one of my biological parents is really the kind of person that should have ever reproduced. So I'm glad that they did. And my mom, um, she was a hot mess, but she was amazing. I love my mother so much. Um, you know, she was married to a guy that then tried to kill her kids. So that tells you. I think I told you guys once about a conversation that I had with her in my adulthood, where she was like, oh yeah, I forgot he tried to kill you guys. I was like, she literally said that. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh my God. Like, and to her, it was no big deal that she forgot. It's like, oh yeah, it slipped my mind. Oh man. I mean, that killed me. I had a lot of issues with my mom when she was alive. When your parent passes away, or even when they get close, it really changes things. But there was much of my adult life where I was really, really tight with my mom. But as you know, she wasn't there for us when we were kids. So that was rough. And she carried a lot of guilt with that, that she let the abusive ex take the kids because she didn't think he would ever hurt us. And technically, physically, he didn't. I won't make my stupid joke about just that one time with his temporary lapse of reason when he did try to kill us with the carbon monoxide. Anyway, not to get all hung up in my own garbage, but you know how I am. I like to be open about it. That's part of my own therapy. Like, I used to be really, many, many years ago, I was very embarrassed. I would never tell people. I felt so much shame and felt like it exhibited a low sense of value on my life, which it did exhibit, that he had a low value on my life and my sister's life. But that doesn't mean that our lives are any less valuable, of course. That's the thing about victimization, is it doesn't really say anything about the victim. It reflects on the perpetrator. Anyway, let me stay caught up. Or let me get caught up. Annie Ruler, that's right. Thank you, Granny Annie. I knew that I knew it. It just wasn't coming to me. Annie Ruler, too much alphabet. I still use that, and I try to credit you if I ever say it on my channel. but I'll say it in real life too. Just too much alphabet. I think I said it on my channel the other day. I hope I credited you. You probably heard me, that's why you came into my chat the last couple of videos, right? Because I think it was super recent. I think it was probably just like a video or two before yesterday's. I remembered your name, Annie, but I didn't want to type it in case you didn't want it out there. Anna, I am cool in this channel. And Anna Bees, didn't you change your name too? I changed my name, as you guys know. I was JusticeAtooZ. I didn't think I'd ever change it. And then all of a sudden one day I got this wild bee in my bonnet and I couldn't change it fast enough. I was at an all-day yoga. It was actually like the first day of this mastery program that I was doing for 24 months. It turned into 20 months. Or 21. That's the one that we just wrapped up with the trip to Michigan. I think it was the very first day of that before the day even got started, it came to me. I was like, JusticeAtooZ, love saves lives. And then I just wanted to run home and change it all day long, but I, didn't. I waited until the day was over and then changed it. And it's been that way ever since. And I thought of something recently that I wanted to change it to, but it was really long and crazy. And I was like, nah, that's a bad idea. I think it was like Justice A to Z, Love Saves Lives. And then I can't even remember. It was just like a week ago too. It's hilarious that I can't remember. Chandra was a few counties over from me in Gilroy, California. Sad. Politician had it arranged, in my opinion. He absolutely had it arranged. Then he paid that Mexican guy to take the fall. Yeah. There was speculation that she might have been pregnant. So that wouldn't surprise me in the least. There was speculation that Erica Kirk might have been preggers, and I was like, dear Lord, no, we do not need the drama of that. I still think that she is no good. I think that her missing history on the internet is for good reason. I think that that freaking business that she had in Romania, Romanian Angels, I think that was straight up trafficking. I think she's like a Ghislaine, basically, in my opinion. And I think her story changed. I think like the whole story of her being at this speaking event with the two children when it went down, then changed to she was in her mother's hospital room when she heard the news. And then I've heard a third version just in the last couple of days that she was on an airplane. Maybe she was on the airplane to Utah because of what happened. And then when she was on the airplane, she found out he didn't make it. But I mean, they knew he didn't make it right away. I mean, I think, and I'm curious what you might think about this, Granny Annie. I don't know that I've shared this when you've been here these last couple of times. The way he fell so quickly makes me think of Poison. And you know that Daddy Vladdy, he's a huge fan of Poison. That's kind of like his signature. And it also, in my mind, correlates to the woman, I think you mentioned her in the comments last night, the 23-year-old Ukrainian woman that was unalived with a sharp-edged object in the neck. Irene Zurukovich. No, that's not right, but it's something like that. And I don't want to lose my train of thought with it. But that knife could have been poisoned too. The way they both keeled over so quickly. And it seemed like they were both given a lot of attention by our government, and that they were both used as pawns in a feeble attempt at instigating a civil war. Irina, how do you say her name? Zaruska, Irina Zaruska, that beautiful woman. And Granny Annie, was it you or was it Anna Bees? No, I don't think you were in the conversation last night, Anna Bees, because I wanted to tell you I got your package in the mail. It might have been Billy that was saying that, but it might have been you that thought that maybe Erica Kirk was from Ukraine, and that's why there was like not really a history of her, because I've looked it up so many times. She was allegedly born in Ohio, USA. That Ohio. And that's what it says. If you look it up on the internet, like where in Ohio, it'll say USA, Ohio. That's where. But then she was raised in Tucson, Arizona. No, Scottsdale. Sorry, Scottsdale, Arizona. She might have been living in Tucson more recently. A lot of these people in the Charlie Kirk case, I think, are from Tucson. But yeah, there's just a whole lot of crazy. And then when after you or Billy said that later after the live, I thought she actually looks a lot like Irina Zaruski. They really resembled each other. Coincidence? We know there's no such thing. Yeah, it's just nuts. It's just so nutty. And, her whole like performance with coming out 2 days after he's savagely assassinated in front of the world and 3,000 college students, and then coming out 2 days later with her little stink eye to the audience that she's addressing, like, oh, you've unleashed a beast of a monster. You think Charlie was difficult to contend with. You ain't seen nothing yet. Which reminded me so much of how Lindsay Rodney Neiman, how she addressed the public on the side with that little video at her daughter's quote unquote celebration of life. But all this stuff going on right now with Charlie Kirk, with Utah and Arizona, I don't know, Salt Lake City, and there's a lot there. So let's just jump down a crazy rabbit hole for a second. Are you guys ready? Remember, Gabby Petito stayed in that hotel room in Salt Lake City for 6 or 7 nights by herself while Brian Laundrie flew back to Florida to clean out his storage unit. And then it was a couple of days after he got back that she passed away from the domestic violence, let's say. And then when the Kylie Rodney case happened, I think that was like a year later, basically. I think so. I think Gabby was 2021. Kylie was 2022. Not only did SF Investigates say that he went to help look for Gabby Petito when she was lost before her remains were found, but that other guy, Red Flag Ronnie, said that he went down there to try to help find Gabby Petito too. Didn't they both claim that they went to try to help find Gabby Petito? And then they're both there in the Kylie Rodney thing. And like, it just hit me with all this Charlie Kirk stuff with Utah. And I was just like, damn. Again, this is a crazy rabbit hole. Are you ready? I haven't even started. So what if Gabby got sold into trafficking and her remains were not hers? And, I mean, I know they identified her by the sweatshirt. I don't know if they did DNA. I know that there wasn't a lot left of, and trigger warning, it really hadn't crossed my mind ever that maybe that wasn't her remains. It has crossed my mind that maybe she was trafficked when she was in that hotel room in Salt Lake City. And I'm sorry if this is offensive to anybody, and it has no trace of a bearing in reality. I'm not saying that it does. I'm just putting questions forth. It's really weird that she stayed in that hotel room by herself. That whole thing was whack. And she was just so freaking gorgeous, like Kylie. And we know that SF investigates. He's got trafficking written all over him, man. Like, he just does. I can't help it, but I believe that to be true. He's also like a fixer. And so is Gross Zanime. So who are the fixers in Idaho 4? Would that have been Brett Payne and Scott Green, Kumar, Scott Green, and Fry? Would they be the fixers there in the Idaho if that whole thing was a pile of crap? Because again, with all the government and military, there's so much government involvement in Idaho. So much. And so the government with Erica Kirk and the Romanian Angels, again, like I said, I know this is a crazy ass rabbit hole, but truth is always stranger than fiction. Okay, now I'm coming out of the rabbit hole. Are you guys with me? Do you need me to pull you up? Let me see what I've missed. Where are we at? Oh, there's so many good comments. I'm sorry. I was like off in a zone. Where are we? Let me go back. Okay, Chandra was a few counties over. Politicians and Coca-Cola powder are almost a given. Yeah, I agree, Granny Annie. Spot on. Blow. We'll just call it blow. For anybody who doesn't understand what Coca-Cola powder is. I think they'll know what blow is. Senator Sonstag was my friend, so Dakota politician. Annie, you're always cool. My parents were really good people. I was going to say allegedly good people, Anna B. Sorry. My parents were really good people. I was a terrible teenager, and my poor mom had to deal with that being a widow. Teenagers are all terrible. I mean, I've had 4. It's like they try to push you over the edge. And I remember being a teenager, and I wasn't trying to push my mom over the edge. I was just a teenager, right? And she frustrated me because she was so relaxed. Like, she was more like a roommate, and it frustrated me that she didn't give me anything to rebel against. So I'd get angry at her for not giving me stuff to rebel against. But then I guess I kind of rebelled in my own way by being more conservative than her, basically. I remember a few years back, you lost Mom. Yeah, it was 3.5 years ago. Dang it. Grr. I love her and I miss her so much. I really do. I think about her all the time. I could just cry. But I'm really glad that moving back to Ohio, we were in the same area for the last 14 years of her life, I think. Because wait, I've been back here since 2009. So I've been back for 16 years. So yeah, about 13 years. And yeah, especially the last 3 years when she was bedridden. And she lived in the nursing home for 10 years. But she wasn't needing the adult diapers until she was bedridden for the last 3 years of the 10 that she was in the nursing home. But she was on dialysis the whole time she was in the nursing home. So she seemed to be in relatively good health on her non-dialysis days. On her dialysis days, she was like a puddle of goo, basically. And she needed the dialysis 3 times a week. Yes, my dear mama. Exactly, Jazz. It reflects on the perpetrator. Exactly. And yeah, people carry so much guilt and shame around, which all that guilt and shame belongs to freaking perp. But the problem is the perps don't have the guilt and the shame. So then it's almost like a codependent nature for the survivor to pick it up for them. Blah. It is therapeutic to share, and others open up and get things off their chest. Exactly. It's like if it's a secret, it can be so detrimental, especially like family secrets. But when you can talk about such tragic, crazy crap casually, there is something extremely healing about that and extremely helpful to others who have never experienced being around somebody like that. Yes, I did. Don't say it, please. I just started getting paranoid about stuff online. Oh, yeah, I wasn't going to, since you had said that about Granny Annie, and I can't remember anyway. I'm like Dora or Dory on Nemo. It's terrible. Like when I was like, wait, were you in the live last night, Anna Bees? No, you weren't. So, I think you could be right, Jazz, about Erica. Yeah, the fact that it's scrubbed from the internet that she won the Miss Arizona teen pageant in 2007. When things are scrubbed, you know there's a lot there. There's no reason to scrub it otherwise. You would be like bragging about it. Like you can't find anything about her prior to her winning Miss Arizona in 2012. She was 23 years old. I mean, you can find like her bio about, sports and stuff like that. They won't really tell you when she started competing in the pageants. So I wonder how young. Like she could have been like a John Bonet Ramsey. She could have been competing in pageants as a toddler. That's what I'm thinking. And I mean, it's hard to even find too much about her winning the fourth runner up, with Lindsay Halligan winning the third runner up in the Colorado 2010 pageant. But yeah, that's for good reason. Like I'm sure people in DC want to bury that. I mean, that's not a coincidence, like both of them being fairly central in, actually very central in the president's existence right now. And so Erica could be completely tied in with the whole E-files, the Trumpstein files. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe. And then, if the pageants are all involved in that too, and then you got the beauty queen lawyer, you got to keep your friends close and your enemies closer, and people who have dirt on you can be enemies at the drop of a hat, basically. Recently, my body has had issues, possibly from abuse. Yeah, I'm so sorry, Granny Annie. My throat doesn't work well, scar tissue from choke and grape. I am so effing sorry, my dear. That is awful. Arm injured by 6'5" hubby grabbing nerve. Recently had surgery. Had to tell docs now. Oh, man. What a jackass. Ugh. Stay strong, girl. I still can't believe I lost a friend over CK. Yeah. Well, and I think that the whole thing about how, the Jimmy Kimmel thing and, trying to get people fired for bringing up Charlie Kirk, because there's a lot there. There's a lot of there. I'm so sick of people saying that online, but there's a lot there. And so they don't want anybody kicking up any dust about Charlie Kirk, because the whole effing thing could come tumbling down. And that whole thing with Turning Point, maybe that was for like code for turning out. I don't know. Going around college campuses and picking up co-eds. I don't know. Maybe it ties in with the whole like crazy rabbit hole conspiracy theory of the modeling thing. OnlyFans. Maybe that's what they were hunting for with their little tours on campuses. They were looking for people that wanted to make money for them on the OnlyFans. Is that crazy? Was Erica pregnant with little T's baby? Well, it's curious who the biological parents of this 3-year-old daughter and the 1-year-old son are. Are Erica and Charlie the biological parents of both of them? Or I wonder if she might have been breeding for somebody else. Sorry. Ooh, Annie, I hope not. LOL. Charlie passed 6 days earlier. Ha ha ha. Yeah. So this whole thing that the what's the name of his channel? Let Go, Mr. Let Go. I think he's like a therapist or something. Maybe he's got all these like card games that he's selling. They seem pretty interesting, but Mr. Let Go, I'll put a link in the description to this 2-hour video that I was watching right before I came on. It was mind-boggling. So there's like this guy who ran for governor, who was like one of the last people Charlie spoke with, who met with him at 6 a.m. that morning, and then was one of the last people that spoke with him, whose family owns like the entire block, like right there where it all happened. A lot of weird crap, but I don't know nothing about it other than this one video, so I'll just put a link in the description, and I have no idea about the verification of it at all. It seems to me like that the channel content creator Mr. Let Go is like in alignment with Candace. What's her last name? You know, Candace, the one I'm talking about. Brain's not working. What time is it? Oh my goodness, it's almost 10. No wonder. What the heck is Candace's last name? Help me out. Here, let me see. I know her last name, but I can't find it in my brain. I did put the link in the description about that video that you emailed, Annie. It's in the description of yesterday's video, and it says that it's the video that you emailed me. What is Candace's name? Candace Owens. Candace Owens. I knew that. So yeah, it seems like Mr. Let Go is in alignment with Candace Owens, but I don't know. I mean, I don't trust Candace Owens at all. I think she's a psyop kind of girl. I just don't know. Maybe Erica is Irene. Well, I was going to put their pictures side by side. Did you see the side by side that I did with Kylie and Virginia Gouffre? There's some pictures where they look identical. I'm not saying that they're the same person, of course. I'm just saying that somebody who that's their type, if Virginia, when she was younger, was somebody's type, Kylie would be that person's type also. And yeah, I'd say the same thing is true with Irene and Erica. Maybe they're sisters. I don't know. Maybe they're cousins. I mean, it is all really weird when you think about, so Mr. Let Go was calling Erica, or maybe somebody else was calling her like basically a honeypot for the government. And, it could be that that's what Melania is too. No. Anna, oh no, I think he passed by Rude Shooter. I don't know if that's a typo. ROOD Shooter. No, I wasn't on the live last night. I was working, but listened to it later. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I remembered that you weren't on the live because I was not able to report to you that I got your package sent off successfully yesterday morning. So we'll see how long it takes. Oh, and I have the receipt too. So I'm going to hold on to the receipt until you get it, because then we got all the tracking information. Very interesting. I wouldn't doubt it. Billy mentioned that Eric may be from Ukraine. Erica may be from Ukraine. Yeah, I thought that was really out there at first, but then it kind of sunk into a whole new level. And then especially with Romania and Ukraine sharing 600 kilometers of a border. Wow. And Granny Annie, you just never know. You never know. Maybe Erica is Irene. I mean, she could have been a real person that was legitimately unalived by a crazy guy on a train, on a light rail on her way home from work. But it seems so staged to me, especially because, again, you can watch her red room on the internet still. It still hasn't been taken down. That's not normal. That's a psyop, in my opinion. So the whole thing could be a psyop. Or it could be that it was actually done, but it's still a psyop. You know what I mean? Oh, the level of depravity is just unreal. My stepson says body doubles are being made. Showed me a Bruce Jenner Kardashian body double, guy with hips, same size as the girl. Oh yeah, body doubles have been a thing forever. It's like people act like it's so conspiracy theorist, but no, famous people have body doubles for safety. They have a decoy, like when, say, Mick Jagger is leaving a concert, he's gonna have body doubles going out different areas in different limousines so that you don't know which one is him, that kind of thing. Wow, Annie, yes. I hope Jazz can pin the video about Charlie passing 6 days early. So yes, like I said, it's pinned in yesterday's description. I can pin it again in the description of this one. It is really annoying. Like, they warn you at the beginning how annoying the guy's voice is, and it's insane. Like, I'm like, how bad can it be? And then I'm like, oh, I wouldn't have watched it if it wasn't for you saying to. The saying, never let a tragedy go to waste. Amazon released a book September 9th about him dying. Send snail mail to ex-friend. SF is a fixer. We had a fixer in Vegas, HOA, 5 odd passings. Well, and then the whole thing with the guy who interviewed Scammy Smith, Tony Dodgeball, he lives in Arizona. And he had a lot of people a lot of underage females missing in his neighborhood, like in a 2-block area, if my memory is serving me correctly. My PTSD is screaming at people coming from behind. Our fixer came around the corner and I screamed and went towards him, not intentionally, and screamed louder. Later, I learned of Roy and the 5 passings aways. I can believe that CK passed 6 days previous. Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's easy to do a body double. Easy peasy. I mean, most people are far away anyway. And then with that very distinctive hairdo that he had, all you need is the very distinctive hairdo, and anybody could pass for him. I mean, seriously. Oh, Granny Annie says, my kid's dad always had crazy crap. I remember one of the twins threw herself on the floor and said, why is our life like Oprah? That's adorable. I love it. I got to highlight that. That is too cute. Oh, you guys, we've never talked about Rosie O'Donnell's interview. I'll put a link in the description. I think she interviewed with Nicole Wallace like a week or two ago. Over the phone or over Skype or Zoom, because she's in Ireland, and yeah, she's the ire of Donnie. He just goes on the attack with her all the freaking time. She's awesome. Hey, Why, Drea? Sorry, it's taken me how long to get to you? 10 minutes. Here at the end, I'm going to come back and listen tomorrow. Replay crew, just wanted to say hi. Thank you, dear. Let's highlight that. Nice to see you. How come it is giving me a hard time? There we go. The grape, I am way past, just can't talk well now. Maybe tumor checking, but I feel like he practiced on me. Daughter paid for DNA, and me, dad refused to take it free. Wow, that's wild. I don't trust Candace Owens at all. Yeah. I think she's up to no good. I think she's trying to stir the pot. I think she's trying to throw people off. There's a whole lot of crazy involved with the shooting. I mean, the shooting is so much like the Kent State. I want to see. I know there's a few people that have made videos comparing the two. I haven't had a chance to watch them yet. I'm sorry that happened to you, Annie. Kylie Jenner, roof shooter. Did Anna's friend believe roof shooter off CK? Anna's friend. Anna's friend. Oh, the one that had the falling out. Yeah. I think a lot of people believe it. A lot of people just go with what's on the news, like with Brian Koberger. Yeah, they got the guy. And then with this guy, yeah, they got the guy. I mean, what's weird too is how much this guy and Koberger look alike. And both of them could have been hired to be part of something, and they didn't realize that they were being set up. It's impossible to know in this day and age. Yes, Annie, my friend believes the roof shooter and was so upset that he passed. She won't talk to me now because I wasn't sad. Yeah. Well, at least you weren't fired, Anna Bees. I mean, the people that have been fired is sickening. And again, it's like they're just trying to clamp down on freedom of speech. They don't want anybody stirring anything up with Charlie Kirk, because there's a whole lot of Pandora's box right there. Guaranteed. The joke was on Charlie Kirk's body double that day. Ha ha, I feel a robot. Well, the robots are getting really good. They're getting really good. Have you seen the video of Biden struggling to walk in sand? Then see how robots walk in the sand. Oh, that's funny, not funny. It's sad. Oh, cracks me up. That Tony guy connected to Scammy Smith, in my opinion, he was hauling girls in trucks. So remember that MC Ultra had that connection with Licked Me, that channel, Ickmael, to move a letter. It's sort of like a Pig Latin almost. So, and he was the one who platformed Zanime. The first time she came out on the YouTube scene was an interview with him. And so Megan Cole said that she knew Ickmael and that she had a connection with Ickmael, and she thought she was setting Scammy up for an interview with Ickmael, and then it got kicked to Tony Dodge, which his channel blew up. I mean, he was such a creepy crawler of a whack job. But because of that interview, it blew up his channel big time. I'm sure he cashed in big time. Big time. It's just effing crazy. So much of social media is bullcrap. I mean, so much of YouTube is bullcrap. And trying to sift through and know what's what, I think you have to trust your instincts. You have to keep an open mind that you could be wrong. And you just have to like double, triple check, quadruple check. Just keep checking. I mean, get other people's opinions that you trust. Hey, Billy. Oh, my goodness. I was just about to wrap up. Now the party has started with Billy and Anna and Granny Annie. And is DYI Drea still here? Maybe it's just the four of us. Oh, how awesome. Let's just hang out. What you guys want to talk about? Talk more about Kylie. Dang, Billy, let me repeat some of the crazy rabbit hole information I came up with in my most conspiracy theory imagination in the last day. It's fresh. It's new. It's out of control. There's a couple of things, but I'll share them again. Maybe I'll have a breakthrough with you guys pitching in too, because you always have so much good info. Let's see. Nicole Wallace, she was the one that had the affair with the fellow news guy, got fired. No, I don't think so. She's still on MSNBC. She's married, but she's newly married, and she has 2 kids, and the youngest kid, I think she had when she was 51, but I think she had a surrogate. I don't know. Let me ask the phone. Let me ask AI. I know that Morning Joe and the co-host, they were having an affair when they were both married, and now they're married to each other. Crazy. Did Nicole Wallace get fired for having an affair? Did Nicole Wallace get fired for having an affair? No, not according to AI. She seems like too solid of a person for that too. I wonder who it is that you're thinking of. She was let go from The View in 2015 after one season. She has publicly said that the executives wanted her to be more combative on the show and that her firing felt personal, like it was a breakup. Affair rumors and divorce. In 2019, Wallace divorced her first husband, Mark Wallace, after 14 years of marriage. Around the same time, rumors began circulating that she was dating a New York Times journalist, Michael Schmidt. That's who she's married to now, a frequent contributor on her MSNBC show. Both Wallace and Schmidt reportedly informed their networks about the relationship, and there were no issues. So, all right. I'm glad that it wasn't her. I would have been disappointed. Let's see. TD looks like he's still, like he stinks like old cheese. Oh, yeah, that guy? Ugh. American Dream, American Nightmare Catcher is more like it, right? It seems like they all connected. It is ridiculous. Wonder if they were approached or part of such things from the beginning of the beginning. Yeah, Billy, I think that we're spot on about maybe Erica being from Ukraine, why it says she was born in Ohio, USA. It won't tell you what part of Ohio, just USA. Micah and MJ went to Mar-a-Lago to bend the knee way back, I recall. You're kidding me. Micah and JP, you mean? Micah Miller and JP? It makes you wonder, Billy. And there's a lot with JP. Like him and his dad were definitely doing the transporting thing. And didn't his dad have a transporting thing in Romania? I'm going to ask AI. Did JP Miller's father get busted for trafficking in Romania? Reginald Wayne Miller was not busted for trafficking in Romania. He was convicted of charges relating to exploiting foreign workers in the U.S. But there was a certain country that he was having issues with. What country was it? Let's see. It was one country in particular. Pakistan. I think it was Pakistan. Okay. All right. I know, right, Annabes, how they so close or married to each other or do some business, etc. I know, right, girl? OMG. Freedom of speech. OMG. All the crap about shots and injuries. We were banned from sharing. Times out, etc. Now friends are still passing rapidly. What? Your friends are passing rapidly? Granny Annie, say it ain't so. We ain't stupid. Yo. Sorry if I shocked you with my loud yo. Yo, Adrian. Rocky. Hey, this didn't just start in the last few years for sure. Right. It's absolutely. But in the last few years, the technology has made it harder for this stuff to be hidden. And I think that a lot of the PSY operations are designed for knowing the parameters of what can be covered up and how you can get away with crap in this day and age of technology. You just say the videotape was glitching out, right? Micah and Morning Joe. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Micah and Morning Joe. I was thinking JP. I was like, yeah, that wouldn't surprise me if JP Miller and Micah Miller had gone down to Mar-a-Lago. Mar-a-Lago. I always want to put an R in there. They went down to bend the knee right after he was elected. Like they were scared shitless because they trash talked him worse than Jimmy Kimmel. They were scared to death. And they're still alive. So, you know, I mean, I thought it was hideous. I lost all respect for them. I really did. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. You're blowing my mind. Who is the Kylie that you're speaking of? Oh, you know, Kylie Rodney, girlfriend. That Kylie. Anna B says, Kylie Rodney, missing person from Truckee, California. I bet she was having a brain fart. Justice for Kylie Mae Rodney. Yeah, poor girl. Brian Gumble, who did he diddle? Was it his dark-skinned guy? I do not know. They buying up land for solar farms backed up by diesel generators, shit tons of pollutions and costs to the poor of that area, bastards. I was on Holly weird path still. Right. Oh yeah, it is funny that I'm sure that you just had a brain fart, Granny Annie, about Kylie. It just out of context. Or, you know, because then there was Kaylee, not Kaylee Anthony, the other Kaylee, Kaylee G in the Idaho 4. So let me outline some of the crazy rabbit holes that I shared tonight. And we are getting close to 2 hours, but I'd like to bounce them off of Billy. If you don't mind, help me remember what they were, you guys. So one of them involved all this stuff with Charlie and Salt Lake City or Utah, and that Gabby Petito stayed in that hotel room for 6 nights by herself right by the Salt Lake City airport when douchebag flew home to Florida to allegedly help his father clean out a storage unit. Yeah, right. And I always wondered about trafficking with her, like, with the pullover from the cops and them sizing her up and sizing Brian up. And then, they like sent her out to sleep in her white van by herself. Like, that is the most unsafe, stupid thing in the world. And I think what I've heard, that Brian didn't sleep in the hotel that night, that they reconnected the way they were instructed not to, but I don't know. And then the whole thing with the same sex couple, Crystal and Kaylin Schulte, Crystal Turner and Kaylin Schulte, but I wasn't talking about them earlier, so let me try to stay focused on one rabbit hole at a time. So with Gabby Petito, when Kylie Rodney happened a year later, Billy, I believe that SF Investigates and also Red Flag Ronnie both said that they had gone on site, boots on the ground, to try to help find Gabby Petito when she was missing. And it just hit me, I think today, that what if the remains out there at the Grand Teton State Park were somebody else's remains wearing her sweatshirt? Because I know she had a very distinctive sweatshirt, which is how they identified her. That's how her family identified her. They knew it was her because of the sweatshirt. But there wasn't much left. I mean, out there in the open wild, it didn't take long. And sorry for not giving more trigger warning right before saying that. So what if they body doubled her, and so she's been trafficked this whole time? Because she's the perfect specimen of that underworld. And I meant transporting. What if SF Investigates and Red Flag Ronnie going boots on the ground down there, to me, is a huge red flag that something is up. That, because we know that SF Investigates just like shows up at all these places that he should have no business. So that was one of the rabbit holes. I forget the other one now. The other one was about Erica and what you had said last night about maybe she was from Ukraine. So I was, right before I came on live, I was watching a crazy fascinating video made by a content creator who goes by Mr. Let Go. And I won't talk too much about it because I don't know if it holds water, and I'm going to put the link in the description to his video. It's long, but it's very interesting. And so it was his idea, or on that video that he made today, about that maybe Erica was like a honey pot plant from another country. Maybe. Solar farms to power data centers for AI to control our lives at individual levels. It's entirely possible. It's probably already happening. Last friend was 3 weeks ago to pass. Alex's wife, 6 weeks. Makes me sad to try and remember them all. Cabo got bad shots. If not cancer, heart issues. I have heart. Checking throat for cancer. Microplastics in the food and water definitely causes cancers. GMOs too causing cancers. So yeah, we haven't talked about the president and his doctor's appointment this morning. I've wondered if they haven't been body doubling him with AI for quite a while. I mean, there's a lot of videos that he puts out that are definitely AI. And When he's sitting there at the Resolute desk with his one hand covering the bruised hand and nothing moves. And one of the ways you can tell a video is AI is the monotone in their voice and just kind of like the echo chamber or a lack thereof. But yeah, he's put out a few weird AI videos, kind of like that one that Princess Kate put out a couple of years ago when she had cancer, and there were like the bugs flying around when she was sitting there on the bench by herself. Like, everything's fine, it's all good, don't worry about me. Measles epidemic with babies dying. Have there been more than the 2 or 3? I sure hope not. It's hideous. Absolutely hideous. Billy, we decided we think you're right that Charlie Kirk's wife is Romanian. LOL. Well, so the whole thing that this video that I'm linking up of Mr. Let Go is talking about the guy who's he ran for governor. Let me see if AI knows. The guy who ran for governor of Utah that was at Charlie Kirk's assassination. It goes right to Tyler Robinson. Isn't that funny? No, the guy who so the guy who ran for governor but he didn't win is Charlie Kirk's friend who ran for governor of Utah but did not win. It's just talking about the guy who is the governor. Anyway, it's in the video. I knew if I didn't write his name down, I wouldn't remember what it was. So what was the point of bringing him up anyway? So his family owns like the whole block.
A lonely voice rose above the rancor.
His family owns almost the entire block of where a lot of this stuff happened. And he owns, or one of his relatives owns, the house where the footage of the alleged shooter is just like walking down the street afterwards. And he was one of the last people to speak with Charlie right before he was assassinated. And he met up with Charlie at 6 a.m. that morning. And he's like 60 years old and he's kind of creepy. He likes college kids, it seems like. And he had 3 different scenarios of where he was and what he was doing when the assassination happened. So it's pretty fascinating. But yeah, I'm kind of losing my ability to think and speak all at the same time, like chewing gum and walking, right? Dude, I'm not sure. Granny Annie traveling, but the lack of birth certificate is weird. The scrubbing of her childhood is weird. The nonprofit in Romania is hella weird. Billy, you were always like spot on with this stuff, and you're absolutely right about all that stuff. And I just wasn't putting it together. So it was exciting for me to see this video of Mr. Let Go, because I've only seen like 1 or 2 other videos of his, so I don't really know that much about what he's about. But he was talking about that not only can you not find her childhood, you can't find anything on her family, and you can't find anything on Charlie's family. And that's true. I've tried looking up. I mean, I think I was doing it during my live yesterday, but I've tried it many times before and after. Before, during, and after. Her mother worked for Homeland Security, very sus. And Department of Defense, and her dad worked on the Iron Dome. And Charlie's dad was hired by Donnie in the 80s to be an architect for his towers. Romania borders Ukraine for 600 kilometers. I know. Thanks to you, I know. I remembered that. I remembered the right numbers and everything. You'll be impressed when you watch it on replay. Ukraine, Romania, Ukraine. Right. Wow. All her pageants are weird. Erica's pageants, it's weird that they try to suppress, like they try to act like she got that letter in the mail that invited her to do pageants, and then she won the 2012 title in 2011, November of 2011, on her birthday. But she had won the year before, 2010, the fourth runner-up, alongside Lindsay Halligan, that effing attorney that's been screwing up the cases with James Comey and Letitia James. That girl is off her freaking rocker. I think Pam Bondi, too. I think these people are all going to end up doing a hard time, just like Barry Cohen did hard time. Les Parnas did hard time. Les Parnas has been coming up a lot lately, too, for the history of like what he did hard time for what he covered for Don. So Barry Cohen had covered for like the payoffs and stuff. But then we also have the whole thing with Katie Johnson coming back up. Thanks in part to Tara Palmieri's relentless scrutiny of covering that stuff. All her pageants are weird. I'm going to read that again because that inspired some thoughts about, so when did she really start competing in the pageants? We know she didn't just start in 2010 because we know that she won the Miss Teen Award for Miss Arizona Teen in 2007. But how young did she start? She was 19 in 2007 when she won that award or won that pageant. All these prizes, you would think that that Donnie would be sad that he hasn't won any pageants because he's so beautiful. Tall, slender gene pool in Ukraine. Well, remember another Ukrainian is Helena Hutchins from the Alec Baldwin crap. Another gorgeous Ukrainian. It is very weird. I'm going to watch the video, and that's crazy that you can't find anything on the internet on them. It is. It's really crazy. Like, why are they hiding them? Is she a robot? It's like org crime with politics. Organized. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we got all three crazy puppies in here. Should we show them off as we close out and say goodnight? The hands on the survivors and Jack D in Idaho 4. I believe those white hands are AI. The hands on the survivors and Jack D in the Idaho 4. So you mean like that they probably had like cuts on their hands the following morning and then they like covered them up with AI? Is that what you're saying, Granny Annie? I know that whole Idaho 4 case is such a pile of malarkey. Come here, babies. Rookie, Coco, Chi, come here. Oh, last night when I tried picking this one up, she was just like a little Mexican jumping bean. She's way more calm at the moment. There's the crazy girl. There's the little Muppet. Isn't she so funny? So yeah, if you guys know what Scottish Highlander cows look like, my husband's parents raised some Scottish Highlanders, and they look just like this. They're like long-haired cows. I always called them surfer cows. And I wanted to share with my people that my grandfather farmed soybeans for the government. He had government contracts for corn and soybeans. He also farmed some organic cattle that he sold to the hotel restaurants in the Dayton area. But the corn and the soybeans were government contracts. So, just thinking about all this crap with the farmers and the soybeans, I'm glad he's not caught up in that mess. Craziness. When he retired from the military, he moved back to the farm that he was raised at as a youngster, the family farm. Open Mind Perspectives is big on ops and shows us the actresses that show up at these different events. Somewhere in the same people at this alleged Charlie Kirkby. Yeah. Well, yeah, there's like the guy who was in Hershey, Pennsylvania, with the sunglasses next to Donnie when he did the fight thing. That guy is allegedly the same guy that did the arm thing behind Charlie Kirk right before the shot. Allegedly. I don't know if it's actually him. It certainly looks like him, but I don't know. And yeah, Open Mind Perspectives really hit the ground running. Like, she had her YouTube channel as like a van lifer, and then she did that 3D animation of the Idaho 4 house and what, like, the path that Koberger took, or that the alleged single unaliver took, which I think it was like a group. I don't think it was one. But, I'm just... I have questions. Because they went from doing like their little van life thing to being on News Nation, and then putting this image out there that would really interfere with a possibility of finding any juror, like an untainted juror pool, really. Because it was like so early in the game. It was wild. And I know, she's nice. She used to come into my chats a lot, and I thought she was nice in the chats, but I just wonder what's up with that. I just don't know. I don't know. So yeah, it's 2 hours. It's time to expire. Come here, Mookie. Come here, baby. Come here, Mookie. Come on. Come on, baby. Oh, she is like, I'll take more attention. You see how long her little whiskers are? She's so affectionate. Come here, baby. She is so funny. Look at those long whiskers. Look at how affectionate she is. She's a sweetie. The hands on those survivors, I don't know what that means. I think she meant maybe the hands on the morning after that, but I don't know either. Annabise. Is she so silly? Is she such a cutie? Mookie, come here, baby. Mookie's like, no, I got the mattress all to myself. I got the dog bed. I'm not going anywhere. Mookie is hilarious. When she gets really comfortable, if you try to move her, she will kill you. Oh, aren't they so cute? Silly babies. All right, you guys. Love to my viewers. Thank you so much for being here and being in the chat. It makes it so much more interesting. It makes it what it is. So thanks a million, you guys. Have a really good night. It's Friday the 10th, 10/10/25. Oh, and it's 10:27 p.m. Too bad I didn't sign off right at 10:25, huh? So yeah, we got Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Hopefully I'll be able to do a video maybe by Sunday. I don't think I'll be able to do one tomorrow. And if I can't do one Sunday, I am pretty certain I'll be able to do one Monday. But let me know what works for you guys too, because it's so nice when you're here. And I'm thinking maybe I should be doing them in the evenings rather than earlier in the day. I don't know. I'm open. So have a really good night. Drink your water and take care. And thanks again, my friends. See you on the next one.